So walk with me through this green and growing land. Walk through the meadows and the mountains and the sand. Walk through the valleys and the rivers and the plains. Walk through the sun and walk through the rain. Here's a land full of power and glory, the beauty words cannot recall. Oh, her power shall rest on the strength of her freedom. Her glory shall rest on us all. From Ballarat of Kansas and the Carolinas to Virginia and Alaska, from the old to the new, Texas and Ohio and the California shore. Tell me who could ask for more? Here's a land full of power and glory, the beauty words cannot recall. Oh, her power shall rest on the strength of her freedom. Her glory shall rest on us all. Yet she's only as rich as the poorest of the poor, only as free as a padlocked prison door, only as strong as our love for this land, only as tall as we stand. Here's a land full of power and glory, the beauty words cannot recall. Oh, her power shall rest on the strength of her freedom. Her glory shall rest on us all. But our land is still troubled by the men who have to hate. They twist away our freedom and they twist away our fate. Fear is their weapon, treason is their call. Days are numbered, till they fall. There's a land full of power and glory, the beauty words cannot recall. Oh, her power shall rest on the strength of her freedom. Her glory shall rest on us all, on us all.
It's a lesson too late for the learning, made of sand, made of sand. In the wink of an eye my soul is turning. In your hand, in your hand. Are you going away with no word of farewell? Will there be not a trace left behind? Well, I could have loved you better, didn't mean to be unkind. You know that was the last thing on my mind.
As we walk, all my thoughts are tumbling round and round, round and round. Underneath our feet the subway's rumbling. Underground, underground. You've got reasons aplenty for going. This I know, this I know. For the weeds have been steadily a-growing. Please don't go, please don't go. Are you going away with no word of farewell? Will there be not a trace left behind? Well, I could have loved you better, didn't mean to be unkind. You know that was the last thing on my mind. As I lie in my bed in the morning, without you, without you, each song in my breast dies a-borning. Without you, without you. Are you going away with no word of farewell? Will there be not a trace left behind? Well, I could have loved you better, didn't mean to be unkind. You know that was the last thing on my mind.
Who killed Davey Moore? Why'd he die and what's the reason for? Ooh.
Not I, says the referee, don't point your little finger at me. Sure, I could have stopped it in the 8th and saved him from his terrible fate. But the crowd would have booed, I'm sure, at not getting their money's worth. Too bad he had to go, but there was pressure on me too, you know. No, it wasn't me that made him fall. You can't blame me at all.
Who killed Davey Moore? Why'd he die and what's the reason for?
Not I, said the angry crowd whose screams filled the arena loud. Too bad he died that night, but we'd just like to see a good fight. You can't blame us for his death, we'd just like to see some sweat. There ain't nothing wrong in that. No, it wasn't us that made him fall. You can't blame us at all.
Who killed Davey Moore? Why'd he die and what's the reason for?
Not I, said his manager, puffing on a big cigar. It's hard to say, it's hard to tell. I always thought that he was well. Too bad for his wife and kids, he's dead. But if he was sick, he should have said, no, you can't blame me at all. It wasn't me that made him fall.
Who killed Davey Moore? Why'd he die and what's the reason for?
Not I, says the boxing writer, pounding the print on his old typewriter. Says boxing ain't to blame, there's just as much danger in a football game. Boxing is here to stay, it's just the good old American way. No, you can't blame me at all, it wasn't me that made him fall.
Who killed Davey Moore? Why'd he die and what's the reason for?
Not I, said the man whose fist laid him low in a cloud of mist, who came here from Cuba's door where boxing ain't allowed no more. I hit him, yes, it's true, but that's what I was paid to do. Don't say murder, don't say kill, it was destiny, it was God's will.
Who killed Davey Moore? Why'd he die and what's the reason for? Hey, Nelly, Nelly, come to the window. Hey, Nelly, Nelly, look at what I've seen.
He's a-riding into town on a swayback mule. Got a tall black hat and he looks like a fool.
But he sure is a-talking like he's been to school. And it's 1853. Hey, Nelly, Nelly, listen what he's saying. Hey, Nelly, Nelly, he says it's getting late.
And he says that black folks should all be free to walk around same as you and me.
And he's talking about a thing called democracy. And it's 1858. Hey, Nelly, Nelly, here's the band a-playing. Hey, Nelly, Nelly, hand me down my gun.
All the men are cheering and the boys are too, and they're all putting on their coats of blue.
And I can't sit around here and talk to you, 'cause it's 1861. Hey, Nelly, Nelly, now the fighting's over. Hey, Nelly, Nelly, I've come home alive.
My coat of blue is stained with red, and the man in the tall black hat is dead.
But we sure will remember all the things he said. And it's 1865. Hey, Nelly, Nelly, come to the window. Hey, Nelly, Nelly, look at what I see.
I see white folks and colored walking side by side, and they're working in a column that's a century wide.
It's still a long and a hard and a bloody ride. In 1965.
To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season. Turn, turn, turn. And a time for every purpose under heaven.
A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a
time to weep. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, 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 and a time for every purpose under heaven.
A time to build up, a time to cast down, a time to dance, a time to mourn.
A time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, 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 and a time for every purpose under heaven.
A time of love, a time of hate, a time of war, a time of peace.
A time you may embrace, a time to refrain from embracing. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, 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 and a time for every purpose under heaven.
A time to gain, a time to lose, a time to rend, a time to sow.
A time to love, a time to hate, a time for peace. I swear it's not too late. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, 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 and a time for every purpose under heaven. Take a trip with me to the Ochs and Joaquin. The people out there are exceedingly mean. They'll take you and rob you while telling you lies and anxiously await your hard work's demise. And it's hard times. The Baron of Mandeville Island's the same. He'll take you and work you and not know your name. On civic committees, he's the head of them all. But when he gets home, he's a regular outlaw. And it's hard times. Well, he's not the only outlaw I know. There's plenty of others, I'm telling you so. You fill up a gunny for 17 cents, and when you get home, you can't pay your rent. And it's hard time. It's in between orchard crops this time of year. The cherries are gone, the peach is not here. It's to flavor weeding with a short-handled hoe and look up and down that King Island road. And it's hard times. So kind friends and relations, have patience, I pray, and work in this struggle in your own quiet way. For foxes have burrows and birds have their nests, but the weary old migrant has no place to rest. And it's hard times. Oh, brother, well, it ain't no lie. Bound for Zion by and by. By and by, brother, by and by. Bound for Zion by and by.
When I reach that yonder shore, I'm gonna sing and shout forevermore. I'm gonna sing about the wonders up in heaven above. I'm gonna sing about
The glory of the good Lord's love. Oh, brother, well, it ain't no lie. Bound for Zion by and by.
wash my sins in heaven's rain. I'm gonna leave tonight, 'cause I just can't wait
till I get up to that pearly gate. Oh, Brother Willie, ain't no lie, bound for Zion by and by. By and by, brother, by and by, bound for Zion by and by.
Oh, my brother, if you wanna go, make up your mind and don't be slow. Won't you get on board and take a ride
and move on over to the good Lord's side? Oh, Brother Willie, ain't no lie, bound for Zion by and by. By and by, brother, by and by, bound for Zion by and by.
when you enter heaven's door.
Makes no difference if you're rich or poor.
'Cause the man who's sitting on the heavenly throne
Says every man is a child of my own. Oh, Brother Willie, ain't no lie, bound for Zion by and by. By and by, brother, by and by, bound for Zion by and by. Oh, Brother Willie, ain't no lie, bound for Zion by and by. By and by, brother, by and by, bound for Zion by and by. Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, play a song for me. I'm not sleepy and there is no place I'm going to. Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, play a song for me. In the jingle jangle morning, I'll come following you.
Oh, I know that evening's empire has returned into sand, vanished from my hand.
Left me blindly here to stand, but still not sleeping.
My weariness amazes me, I am branded on my feet. I have no one to meet,
And the ancient empty streets too dead for dreaming. Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, play a song for me. In the jingle jangle morning, I'll come following you.
Take me on a trip upon your magic swirling ship. My senses have been stripped, my hands can't feel to grip, my toes too numb to step.
Wait only for my boot heels to be wandering.
I am ready to go anywhere, I am ready for to fade into my own parade.
Cast your dancing spell my way, I promise to go under it. Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, play a song for me. In the jingle jangle morning, I'll come following you.
Oh, you might hear laughing, spinning, swinging madly through the sun. It's not aimed at anyone, it's just escaping on the run.
And but for the sky, there are no fences facing.
And if you hear vague traces of skipping reels of rhyme to your tambourine in time, I wouldn't pay it any mind. It's just a ragged clown behind, and if to you he looks blind,
I wouldn't worry, it's just a shadow that he's chasing. Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, play a song for me. In the jingle jangle morning, I'll come following you.
take me disappearing through the smoke rings of my mind, down the foggy ruins of time, far past the haunted leaves, the haunted sheltered trees, out to the windy beach,
far from the twisted reach of crazy sorrow.
Yes, to dance beneath the diamond sky with one hand waving free, silhouetted by the sea,
Circled by the circus sands, driving memory and fate. Deep beneath the waves, let me forget about today until tomorrow. Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, play a song for me. In the jingle jangle morning, I'll come following you.
was a man and a friend always. We rambled round in hard old days. He never cared if I had no dough. We rambled round in the rain and snow. So here's to you, my rambling boy. May all your rambling bring you joy. So here's to you, my rambling boy. May all your rambling bring you joy. In Tulsa town, we chanced to stray. We thought we'd try to work one day. The boss said he had room for one. Says my old pal, we'd rather bum. So here's to you, my rambling boy. May all your rambling bring you joy. So here's to you, my rambling boy. May all your rambling bring you joy. Late one night in a jungle camp, the weather it was cold and damp. He got the chills and he got 'em bad. They took the only friend I had. So here's to you, my rambling boy. May all your rambling bring you joy. So here's to you, my rambling boy. May all your rambling bring you joy. One man's hands can't tear a prison down. Two men's hands can't tear a prison down. But if 2 and 2 and 50 make a million, we'll see that day come round. We'll see that day come round. One man's voice can shout to make them hear.
Make them hear.
Two men's voices can shout to make them hear.
Make them hear.
But if 2 and 2 and 50 make a million, we'll see that day come round. We'll see that day come round. One man's strength can't bend the atom bomb. Two men's strength can't bend the atom bomb. But if 2 and 2 and 50 make a million, we'll see that day come round. We'll see that day come round.
One man's feet can't walk across this land. Two men's feet can't walk across this land. But if 2 and 2 and 50 make a million, we'll see that day come round. We'll see that day come round. One man's eyes can't see the way ahead. Two men's
Once I was took in by a girl with a twinkly eye, but the moment that I wasn't looking, she ran off with a handsomer guy. But I'm an ingenious feller, and as soon as my brain got uncurled, I tiptoed right down to my cellar, and I built a mechanical girl. Her arms are iron, her legs are steel, her hips are on wires attached to a wheel, and her spine is a coil that I now and then oil. She's my ever-loving machine. She never complains when I stay out all night. She never complains I'm not rich. And each time I want her to cuddle me tight, I reach out and turn on her switch. Her voice is a special recording, and she whispers sweet things in my ears. The experience is richly rewarding, for she has no frustrated gears. Her arms are iron, her legs are steel, her hips are on wires attached to a wheel, and her spine is a coil that I now and then oil. She's my ever-loving machine. Each night I come home and she's sitting so sweet and serene by the fire, smiling and quietly knitting little garments of solder and wire. Her soul is completely electric, and she gives me a shock with each hug. And when the romance gets too hectic, I simply pull out the plug. Her arms are iron, her legs are steel, her hips are on wires attached to a wheel, and her spine is a coil that I now and then oil. She's my ever-loving machine. She always did what she was supposed to, right up to one evening, and then she had an affair with a toaster, and they ran off and left me again. And the very last word I heard of her, she was living in sin with some drunk, and he was a cold, heartless lover, for he used her, then sold her for junk.
Well, no matter where I wander, I know I'll always find a welcome. At the end of every journey, there'll be friendly people waiting.
California could not hold me, though I loved her timber mountains, worked her fields and worked her orchards, up and down her central valley.
I have ridden open boxcars through her golden Utah Valley,
Watched her rivers gently gliding, waved my hand to friendly people.
Those who know me call me a drifter. They don't know I'll stop my rambling. They don't know that someday, somewhere, somebody's gonna be